Okay, so hello and welcome back. I'm another person of AP, as always, and today I'm going to go back to showing off the Steam controller. And today what we're going to do is we're going to show how you set up community controller mappings. First of all, before we start, I'm actually going to show you a controller mapping that I made myself. So if we go into my personal mappings, this is a public mapping, by the way. You can find this, get rid of this one. You can find this on the community mappings. It should be near the top, since it is very recent, and there's not many. You can see I have changed how the, actually I'll go back into that. You can see I've gone in here and I've messed with how every button functions in this game, and I've basically thrown out the default mappings, and I've made one myself. If you saw my stream the other day, you'll notice that one of the first things I complained about was how zooming in and zooming out was a repeated button press. I changed that. I changed, first of all, what buttons they are mapped to. Instead of being mapped to the bumpers, they are now mapped to the trigger buttons, and just holding them can zoom in and out. Nice and fancy there. I also decided to map a bunch of buttons to the A, B, X, Y buttons and the up, down, left, right buttons, which previously did not have mappings. So if I hit Y, or B, because I was already on that map mode, it will change what map mode I'm looking at. So B now changes me to Catholic, or religion map mode, not Catholic map mode, that would be a very restricted map mode. A switches me to De jure Duces, I believe. X switches me to Diplomacy map mode, and then Y switches me to Realm map mode, or Political map mode, as anyone who's played EU4 will recognise it as. I also changed the bumper buttons on the controller to now left click and right click instead of zooming in and out what they were doing before, and I also made it so they're mapped to the right sides of the controller. So hitting the left bumper now selects things, as you see here. Hitting the right bumper, I'll have to, first of all, get up an army to show this off. Why can't I raise my levies? Whatever. Oh, that's because my army's up there. So, you can now see me. Right click. There we go. Army's moving. Why is my army in Ireland? Get over here, you. Oh, they added a bridge between here and there. Didn't even know that. Anyway. However, I wasn't happy with A, B, X, and Y just doing 4 things. So, I went into the controller settings and I added a mode switch to those buttons. So now if I hold the left spinal button, or grip button as it is officially called, and hit those buttons, they'll bring up my council options, or my military options, or my intrigue, or my factions. So you see here, this idiot here hates me. He wants to depose me. And you're wondering, oh, if he's changed the left one, then surely he's gotten rid of the time pause button. Nope. I just rechanged what it's doing. So now if I hold the left grip button and click the touchpad in, it unpauses the game. And control stick, analog stick here, didn't really change what that does. I think I changed the sensitivity a bit, may have changed it back afterwards though, but I didn't change it too much. If I unpause the game and now hit the up on the D-pad, it speeds up time. If I hit down on the D-pad, it slows down time. Nice and fancy. I thought this was quite nice. It allows you to do quite a lot of complex things. If I hit right on the D-pad, it brings up my personal diplomacy page. And if I say click on my son, and then click on his grandfather, and then this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy. Not my son, my heir. Which will probably be my brother in this case. And now hit the left button, it goes back through pages that I was in before. I've mapped it to basically do this function here. Basically, what I found is that using the Steam controller, anything that has a hotkey assigned to it on the keyboard, or any regular key for that matter, can be mapped to the controller. And using mode switching, you can actually map a lot of buttons to this controller. If I was to just do a basic calculation now, you could probably map something in the realm of 20 buttons to this controller, instead of the 10 that are on there now. I don't even know if mode switching allows you to add multiple mode switches. So it may be a much larger number than I'm currently actually telling you. Pause button also now acts as escape and eventually brings up the actual menu here. So you're wondering, probably by now, oh, and right spinal button acts as another right click, just in case you preferred it on that one. Couldn't think of anything to put there. So I imagine you're wondering, wait, how did he do that? He seems like he's made a functional controller layout. Well, that's what I'm here to show you. Tutorializing controller layouts. So you go into the Shift Tab button, or Shift Tab menu here, go to Configure Controller, and for this I'm going to just bring up a template gamepad. There we go. This probably will not work very well with the game. In fact, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't seem to do anything. So, we're going to make it do things. So here it says left trigger. I'm going to show you how I did the camera now. So, full pull action. Full pull action, if you're wondering, is if you pull down the left trigger till it clicks. You can probably hear that. Hopefully you can. That is what that action will be. You can also add it to soft pull, so if you only pull it down part of the way, but do not click it, then you will do a different action. I don't recommend mapping something to each of these at the same time. I really don't. It doesn't seem like it's a recipe for success, especially not in Crusader Kings 2. So, if we go into this, and we press X to remove what is currently mapped to, we can now have a look around and we can figure out what we want to map this to. So if this is the left trigger here, I'm going to map it to mouse scroll up. That will make it act like a mouse wheel, scrolling up with the mouse wheel. And now if we Shift Tab back out, zoom way out, and press, you'll see that we are zooming in. Of course, though, I haven't messed around with repetition yet, so I have to press it once each time. I'm not going to show you how to do repetition. Go back into there, go over to hold to repeat turbo mode, turn it on. You can change how often it will repeat the controller. I'll show you how that works now. So if we zoom that way back out on my mouse again and hold it, we zoom in at that speed. And you'll also hear, by the way, if I zoom it right back out and hold it again. Hopefully you can hear that. That clicking, that is the haptic feedback in the controller. I'm also going to show you how to turn that nonsense off. So if we go back in and turn it way up, and also turn this bollocks off, and we're zoomed right the way out, as far as we can go. Now if I hold the button, we zoom right in immediately. For actual functionality, I don't think having it that high up is that useful. I just have it on the default settings. Connection issues? No, it's not. Okay, go away, all notification. So yeah. Now we have it set to repeat at average speed with no haptic feedback, as you didn't hear there because I turned it off. Now I'm just going to quickly do the same feature to the no, not right mouse, to the other side of the controller, to the other trigger button. So now we can zoom in, we can zoom out with the triggers. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how I mapped the left and right click. Just like that. Simple as. This should now... Of course we need to actually be able to somehow get the mouse onto something because we haven't mapped the touchpad yet. So now if we left click there, we get that. And if I just move the mouse over, since I haven't mapped that yet, and click the right bumper, we get up the little diplomacy menu. You're thinking, oh, this is nice and simple so far. And yes, so far it is. It's relatively simple. However, it's going to get a bit more complex now. Actually, first of all, we want this to be something else. We want this to be a mouse. There we go. So what I've just done here is I have changed what the touchpad does from what it was before, which was camera controls for a first or third person shooter, to an actual mouse, which is how the camera is controlled in this game. I'm just going to quickly get rid of this option, this little menu thing here. Go away, there we go. So yeah, we can now move the mouse around, and hopefully you can hear this. That creaking noise there is again the haptic feedback. It sounds like someone jumping on a bed. That isn't good. That's why I always turn it off. Just like so. And I haven't mapped clicking yet. So, here we go. Let's just map it to be a left mouse click. And now if I click in the touchpad, like so, or hold and drag it while still holding it in, I'll bring up this little box selection, like so. And I can now hit right click and tell them to go there. By the way, anyone who's wondering what's going on here, popular guides, how to expel the Jews, I did not put that there. That is something some idiot on Steam has wrote. Anyway, back into this. You're thinking, oh, that's nice and fancy. You can map a left mouse click to the touchpad. That isn't all you can do with it. So, if I went up to this spinal button here, and I'm only using this one because it seems like a smart place to put this. You may be wondering, what does this mean? Well, I'm about to show you. So, if I go to mode switching, and then go down to left grip, style of input, put it back to mouse, and went to quick action here, selected right click. You may have noticed there that the menu jumped back. You'll see that clicking regularly does that, and now if I hit the spinal button or the grip button and click on something, it brings up this. By the way, here's a ball helmet. Look at that helmet. It may need to lose a few pounds because he's got, what is that, 3 chins going on there? But yeah, you can see I've now mapped the right clicked also function on the touchpad. Very snazzy. Going back into this menu, you'll see A, B, X and Y. Well, in the default mappings, A, B, X and Y didn't do anything. So we're going to make them do something. And we're going to make them do controller mappings. And I'm also going to turn off... Wait. Oh, you can't turn off haptic feedback in these menus. Okay. There's one more that I mapped. W-E-R... Have I mapped I? Oh, I haven't mapped E. Okay. So there we go. Now if we hit them, it'll change what map mode we're looking at. Same map mode as before. It's just because they're the keys that I know right now, because I spent an hour doing this before. And if we go back in there and turn on mode shifting, style of input, button pad, and then select the button to be the left grip, we can again set even more buttons to be mapped to this set of buttons here. Now if I set, say, F3, F5, F6, I don't know why it keeps jumping about like that, it's not what I prefer it to do, and then F7, and then come out of this menu. Now if I hold the left grip in and then hit A, B, X and Y, it brings up those menus. I'm actually going to quickly test something here because I haven't tested it before. If I go to mode shifting, wait, actually if I get out of this menu entirely, I'm going to have to make sure this isn't mapped to anything. There we go. And go back to mode shifting and go down to right grip. Can I map it to even more things? No, I cannot. Okay. So, you may think, oh, Okay, that's pretty nice. You can also map, say, this. You can map the joystick here, the analog stick, and let's say I don't like what it currently does, which is nothing. I can say, okay, I want this to be a button pad, and I want this to be up for... Actually, no, not a button pad. Let's make it a directional pad, which gives us even more options to look at here. Requires click, off. Get rid of that nonsense. Get rid of the haptic feedback nonsense as well. So, if I now map this to be up, left... Actually, can I just press... No, I can't just press left. Down and right, and then go out of here. What I've done now is I've made it so that I can use the control stick or the analog stick to move the map around. And you can also mode shift that. What I would mode shift that to is completely beyond me right now, but you can do it. There is advanced settings here, so you see we can do the repeat. Actually, this is something I can do. Let's mode shift it. So left grip again, start with input, back to directional pad. Say we want to move the map even faster than we currently do. We can do that. I don't know how fast it will make this go, it might be unbearably fast. And then down to right here. Turn the haptics back off. Requires click off. Overlap directions. Yeah, leave the overlap on. And then go into advanced settings, turn on the repeat, and then turn this up a bit, and then we leave. So, just regularly moving the analog stick about does that. Now if I hold the left click, it does the same speed. Does not work as I expected it to. It was worth a test. Actually, maybe I have to get out of this menu to actually save it. Zoom out. Is it actually moving faster? No, it's not. Actually, I don't think you can change how quickly you actually move the map in this game, so... Oh, it's because it's not on. No, off. That's the... If I click on that, yep. Advanced options, it's on. Oh yeah, you can also see that there's a whole bunch of things that you can map here. I'm not quite sure what they do yet. Analog emulation active. Percentage of the pulse time that the key is held down. So yeah, you can see you can mess with a lot of things here. I'm not quite sure what they all do. It's quite a lot, to be honest. Quite a lot to take in. So, we just go back to this. Up. Get rid of that. Go back over to plus. Just a moment, I'm just going to have to check what a key actually is on this. And it did it again. Every now and then, the Steam controller does something odd. There we go. Once you mess around with the settings for a bit, it'll take a few seconds to reset what the new settings are and acknowledge those. So testing this sometimes can take some time. B. There we go. So if we map the left key to B, this to F2, and then this to the negative or minus there, you'll now see that actually we'll need to unpause the game. I haven't got a pause button mapped right now. So now go up and down, now open up that, and we can go back through menus that we were going through previously. So, that's a quick show off of how you can map the Steam controller to do things. Also, we might want to quickly pause the game. One more thing that I feel like I need to map just for completion's sake. We need a pause button. So, we're going to go into this and we're going to add a mode shift to this. I'm going to say directional pad and it is to the left of it. I'm going to go down to the bottom here and I'm going to hit space. Now when we mode shift this, it should pause, unpause that. There we go. What I'm also going to do just before I finish up is I'm going to show you off some of the other things that are in the advanced settings. Button radius, not quite sure what that does. We're on button pad. When using a trackpad. Ah, so that's smart. What this does is basically if you turn a trackpad, which we are doing right now, into a joypad, if you hit between two buttons on that trackpad, so for example, on a D-pad, if you were to hit, or on the D-pad for the Steam controller, if you were to hit the basically southwest position on that D-pad, it would hit both those buttons. So if you turn that radius all the way up, imagine just pressing one button would hit all of them at once, which sounds like a nightmare. Don't do that. Basically, you can fiddle with what you want to be considered pressing both, if you were to hit the southwest position, down and right at the same time to be. Button distance. So, what I imagine this does is, the further down you turn it, the closer on the trackpad those buttons are considered to each other, whereas this will be the exact outer red edge of the trackpad. What we can also do is we can look at joystick move, advanced settings. You can fiddle with the dead zone and the buffer for the dead zone. You can figure out whether you want the dead zone on the inside or the outside, which is quite a nice option there. And you can also turn up the sensitivity of it. Dead zone cross, what else can it be? Circle and square. I'm not going to mess with those. So what I imagine this does is it changes the sensitivity of it. In fact, we're gonna test that quickly, just to show off what it does. Actually, this is a bad game to show it off on because all the map speeds are the same speed. I'll just go back to showing off what you can do. What was I was messing with? Ah, it's this. So yeah, you got all that. Actually, that's the sensitivity. Alright, I officially have no idea what that does. Using a linear, by default, a linear one-to-one mapping is used. This curve can be altered so there's less or more room for fine controls. No idea. You can also make it so it's a camera, so if you're in a third-person game or a first-person game, anything that has camera controls, you can mess about with it in here. You can go to a mouse, which is just the touchpad as usual. You can go to a scroll wheel, which would be like the scroll wheel on a mouse, which, if you wanted to map these two to scroll up and down to a touchpad, you could do so. I think the way I've done it is a bit superior. Okay, so you've made your nice control configuration, and you want to make sure it's been remembered for the ages. How do you do that? Hit Y. You can save it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to rename it to Tutorial 420. There we go. And we're going to say, what's the description? This is going to be Vape Life. Okay. So you did that, you named it, you gave it a description, and now you can save it either privately, or you can publish it online. I'm not going to publish this online because A, it's an inferior version of what I've already made, and B, it would actually get rejected for having 420 in the title. Trust me, I tried it earlier. Anyway, I've been enough person. This has been showing off the controller mapping tutorial for the Steam controller. Why did that take me so long to think of what I was doing? Everything's got a weird title. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please let me know in the comments. And as always, keep it juicy. See you next time, guys.